Good afternoon, everybody. It's Monday, May 29th, and it's Live Chats with Maggie and Bunny. I'm Maggie.
And I'm
There's
Bunny.
Bunny. So, for a change today, Bunny, what are we going to talk about today?
Well, we decided today. I decided to come up with the idea because it was something I've been dealing with and seeing, and that's the way we talk about it. Is about how not everybody is gonna like you. Sometimes some people are not gonna like you, and conversely, sometimes you're not gonna like other people either.
Not everybody likes
Not everybody likes you. I know. Talking that it
me. Now
is.
I feel like the little Home Alone guy. But it's true. We can laugh at that, but it's true. The
Yep,
reality of it is not everybody's going to like us, and we're not going to like everybody, and that's okay.
it's totally okay.
Totally okay. But how do we handle it when somebody doesn't like us or when we don't like somebody? Oh, sometimes that stings.
Yeah, for sure.
Sometimes it triggers things inside you. And kind of the rule that I have for it is, yeah, I don't have to like everybody, but I do have to be kind.
And I do have to be respectful.
Yeah.
And I liked the fact that I did a TikTok on this today too. Is that I was talking about still sending energetic love as a spiritual level, not as the human self, because it's my human self
Yeah.
that doesn't like them for whatever reason, which is totally okay. But on the spiritual level, I can still send love and loving
Yeah.
energy. Even and it's sort of like the Care Bear stare that when the Care Bears would do that and the loving energy would come out through and I can do that, but I can do that from afar. So so
Yeah.
I don't have to do that with right close to somebody. I don't have to call somebody on the phone. I don't have to have them in my space to be able to do
Yeah.
that. So
Yeah.
for sure.
I know I have a friend that reminded me one time that you have to love everybody, but you don't have to have lunch with them.
Yeah,
And on a spiritual level. And that's true
yes.
because some people you may never connect with
Right.
for whatever reason. It could be something within you that triggers something with them,
Yeah.
or vice versa. It might just be that you just don't gel together, and
Yeah.
that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. But what comes to mind for me for that is what's not okay is if I don't love myself,
Mm,
because I am the person that I have to love.
yeah. And it is funny, right? Because you like today I did my soul speaks to you and it was pretty much about loving yourself and being authentic and that when you're authentic that not everybody's going to love you, but some people
Yeah.
will love you even more. But the most important thing is that you're going to love yourself even more and you said and you made a comment about how loving yourself is the most important thing and that is
Yeah.
and I do think that as children when you look at children, they're very confident in who they are.
Yeah.
And they love themselves. Like we exude self-love when we're children. We have so much of it. And I think what happens is it's those times when loving, our caretakers who are lovingly trying to help us, protect us, get and navigate through life, is they start to say, don't do that. Don't say
Yeah.
that. If you do that, you won't have any friends. If you say that. And so you start to kind of conform and fit into these slots, which
Yeah.
which so in some ways we get the message that who we are authentically is not good enough or
Yeah.
it's not okay. And so we start to kind of put blocks up and even when you talk about it in your book, Journey to Soul, is we start to wear the masks. We start
Yeah.
to, we start to become somebody different who we
Yeah.
think is somebody and so it is nice to step forward and be those authentic people but as I said there's going to be times where you're just not going to gel and in my case the reason that it came up is being in a space with somebody who from the beginning and unbeknownst to like the reason why and it doesn't matter why I've just always had that prickly feeling with this person's energy and um they're never obviously, out right out saying anything horrible to me. They've never disrespected me in a
Right.
way that was very obvious. And it wasn't something that it was tangible that I could even say, look, they said this, they did this, they, whatever the case may be. It wasn't like that, but it was just sort of that energy and that knowing. And when I'm a person who loves to be loved and loves to have people like me, I definitely notice when
Yeah.
somebody doesn't like me. And I don't like that feeling, but I do have to look at why I don't like that feeling. Why am I uncomfortable in that energy? Um,
Yes.
and then again, I'm reminded for the whole what other people think of me is none of my business. And I also add on to that, and what I think about other people is none of their business. In other
Yeah.
words, whatever I think of, I don't have to tell this person, well, I think you don't like me, because it has nothing to do with them.
Right.
It has nothing to do with them. And the perspective and the relationship can change just by me changing my
Yeah.
perspective. And like you said, getting more self-love, because when somebody doesn't like you, and especially right now, I'm opening up more on TikTok and doing my Be Real series, my Be Real Bunny series, more authentic. I'm going to get people on the internet who are going to say things
Yeah.
negatively about me, and I'm going to have to learn that it's okay. I told my sister the other day, if I told you that the sky was purple, you wouldn't believe me because the sky is blue.
Right.
And so no matter how much I told you, no, the sky is purple, your reality is the sky is blue. So
Yeah.
if you know that you're incredible and you're amazing, no amount of what other people tell you that contradicts that, are you going to believe?
Right. Right. And that's the thing that I have learned in my life and in my journey, that the more I love myself, the more I'm comfortable in my own skin, the
Mhm.
more that I like who I am and who I portray to the world, and I'm fitting into the mold of my life that I'm designing. The more that I do that, the less I give a shit
Yeah, true enough.
whether other people like me.
True enough.
Because you get to the point, and I don't know if it's an age thing or what, but you get to the point where it just doesn't matter. Like, if you don't like me, okay.
Yeah.
There's a billion other people in the world who might.
Yeah. It's true. It's
But
true.
as I said in the beginning, I have to be kind.
Mhm.
And that's what I want from other people. If you don't like me, that's okay, but don't be unkind.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where I think sometimes in our world we get that skewed. We think that we have the right, and especially with TikTok, I would expect
Yeah.
people think that they have the right to say whatever they want. Well, no, you don't.
Well, and I think they get courage too. It's that the keyboard warriors, as they call it. There are things that they would say on the internet that they wouldn't say in
Yeah,
real life, but yeah,
but
for
it's
sure.
true. Like, the more that I'm comfortable in my own skin, the less I care
Mhm.
what other people think of me.
Right.
That doesn't mean that, you know, I don't value other people. I do,
Right. For
but
sure.
I value people that are in my life for the right reasons.
Yeah. And I know
People who,
we were talking about spiritual, and saying that we had to be love all the time, and
yeah,
human experiences. So you would definitely, you were going to say about the people that are in your life that love you,
yeah,
and the humanness in that. So
because that humanness, as long as we're alive, we have human experiences.
right.
And yes, there's times that I don't behave the way that I want to. There's
Right.
times that I do the wrong things. There's times that I fall off that I don't like myself wagon, and I
Mhm.
I don't, because I'm human,
Right.
because I'm living a human experience. And when I stop living a human experience, I'm going to not have those trials, but I'm also going to be dead.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Because I don't think on a spiritual level we ever get to the place that we stop being human.
Right. Right. As long as we're
you know
still human in the human vehicle, in our as Abraham Hicks calls it, the meat suit, as long as we're here in this human experience. And I think that's a very important part that in some spiritual communities they miss, is that they say like you have to transcend the human experience. But why would our soul choose to have this experience if there
Right.
wasn't some value in it? If there
Yeah.
wasn't something for us to
We
find in this
transcend the human experience when we
when we
die.
die. Yeah. Yeah. So this is an important and integral experience for our life to live as human beings. That's why we're here. And
Yeah.
and those that's going to sometimes be uncomfortable. That's going to
Yeah.
sometimes be the place where, we do find ourselves maybe not, like there are times where, again, like you said, there are things that I might not like about myself, and I
Yeah.
might be, but it's also important for me to show compassion to myself,
Yeah.
and to accept myself in those moments,
Yeah.
and in
And it
those times.
doesn't mean that I don't feel hurt if people wound me. I don't want people to feel that way either. That when I say, I don't care if you like me, that doesn't mean I don't care if you hurt me. I
Right.
care if people hurt me.
Right.
Absolutely. And I care if, like for example, if you decided tomorrow you didn't want to be my friend, I'd probably care about that
Yes,
because we have a deep connection that if you took that away from me, it would matter.
for sure. Right.
So it's not that I love myself enough that I don't need anybody in my life.
Right. Right.
No,
Right.
that's not what I'm saying here. I'm saying that if over time things change, that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, you know, if I'm at a party and some people at that party don't like me, I'm
Yeah.
okay with that because
Yeah.
I don't really know you and you don't really know me.
Yeah.
But yeah, like don't think for a second that I'm saying if people I love were taken out of my life and just decided they didn't like me because of this,
Yeah. That's
because
true.
I said they don't matter. That's not true.
Yeah,
People
for
matter.
sure. For sure. Yeah, people do matter. And I think that, like, I even when you were talking about that, it's also that idea too, is that there may be people who don't like me, but there are some people who love me incredibly. And I absolutely want to be around those people. I want to be around those people.
Absolutely.
My biggest thing is that sometimes being with the human experience and the traumas that I have had as a child and stuff, when somebody doesn't like me, I will tend to try to figure out why they don't like me, or potentially in the past change something about myself to try to get them to like me. And I
Yeah.
think that that's where I'm starting to learn that I don't have to do that, that it's
Right.
okay. It's okay if somebody doesn't like me.
Yeah.
And I have to be
Because
okay
it's
in
not
that.
about you.
It's not about me. I
It's
know
not about
that,
you.
and I know that's a hard thing for us to get around, is because, again, like I said, there are some unconditional, subconscious, unconscious things that I have been told where, if you don't act this way, you won't have friends. If
Right.
if you do these things, if you say this stuff, that nobody will be your friend, or people won't like you if you do this. And so of course those are things that I have to learn, that it's okay if somebody doesn't like you. Like nobody ever
Yeah.
said it's okay if somebody doesn't like you. And again, I just have to choose not to be around the people who don't like me and be more around the people who do. And that's okay.
Yeah, for sure. Because for every person that doesn't like you, there's probably hundreds that do.
Yeah. And
You know?
it's funny because I just giggled and laughed right there. And there is that is something that got brought up to me on Saturday, which and I was talking about that, about being authentic, is I laugh, I giggle, and many times I don't even think about it. And I got told that when we were at the event at your house, um one of the people who came, Isabel, said she could hear my laugh from the street. And it sometimes makes me a little bit self-conscious, but she said it in a nice way. She was like, "I could hear your laugh, and it made me smile. I knew you were here." And
Yeah.
and in the past, it's really like made me kind of shrink away from that, because I thought, well, I don't want to be recognized and noticed, but I've been learning to love that part of myself and to accept that
Yeah.
part of myself, and be okay with that smiling, joking, laugh. And people have told me my whole life. But I mean, how could that be something that I wanted to shrink away from, that I,
Right.
that I wanted to be. And so in that kind of way, people love me for that. There may be something that I do that somebody doesn't like. And again, it's not something that I control. It's not something that I don't go out of my way to be unkind to people. I try to be kind all the time in all
Yeah.
of the things that I do. Um, and it is something, like you said, the human experience. Sometimes something does come up, and sometimes I do have a moment of maybe unkindness or an unkind thought, but generally not. Generally it's mostly out of kindness, and maybe that person doesn't perceive it as that way. Who knows what it
Right.
is that happened? And that can happen. And so again, that's not something that is on me to figure out. That is
Right.
not something. My responsibility is just to be kind, just to be
Yep.
kind all the time and as best as I can, and forgive myself for those times when I might not be so kind. Or even where I might have not been kind to myself. And,
Right.
and that's the biggest things, I think.
Because oftentimes it's easier for us to be kind to other people, but beat ourselves up.
Yes, for sure. For sure.
And it's important to equally be kind to yourself,
Mhm.
because we don't do that enough.
We definitely
You
don't do
know,
that enough.
we don't do that enough. And when we learn to love ourselves, it becomes easier to just love other people,
Mhm.
because it's an extension of who we are.
Right.
And relationships change when you're deeply rooted from a place of love.
Mhm.
When we can get ourselves to a place of love, relationships change
Mhm.
and we change.
Yep.
Circumstances change. You avoid conflicts differently. Things happen and you can catch yourself going, maybe they're having a bad day. Instead of catch yourself going, "Well, what the hell was that?"
Yeah.
You can have compassion. When
Mhm.
you live from a place of love, it is easier to offer compassion than to seek judgment.
Right. Right.
Yeah. So for everyone out there, just remember it's okay if somebody doesn't
It's
like
okay.
you.
And you don't
Just
have to like everybody either.
just like yourself.
Just like yourself.
And if you want to talk to us about somebody not liking you, or about any future topic you would like to have, Bunny's going to tell you how to get in touch with us.
You're gonna email us at aboveandbeyond@gmail.com, or you're gonna find us wherever podcasts are. You're about to hear Bean barking at her dad.
That's
Hello.
okay, because we're live.
Yeah.
When you're live, you're allowed to have dogs barking and
Yeah.
doorbells ringing. Life happens.
Life
It's
happens.
okay.
But that's it for today. So find us next week on our Facebook page at Above and Beyond. That's it.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
everybody. Have a great day.